Howdy, howdy, and welcome to another episode of WeTS, We Talk Sports. I'm, of course, the host, Dom, and joining me today are my co-hosts, Jacob Pendergraph and Owen Fleming. Welcome, guys. Welcome back. Jacob, it's good to see you again.
I'm back.
It's been a
He's
while.
back.
But today, we're going to go right into it, and it's, of course, our NFL mock draft special.
Mock Draft Monday.
So we're going to go over
Might not
that.
come out on Monday.
It'll come out before the draft, but we're gonna go over some of our mocks as well as our both our cool and controversial picks. Jacob, I know you got a lot to say about this draft.
I made a draft for the first time.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
there you go. So
You made it.
Yeah. All
but
by myself.
Mm-hmm.
we're
I didn't
gonna
ask for any help.
we're gonna jump right into
You didn't say, oh, and send me the
our
website."
draft. So let's get our drafts going. Actually, I'm gonna start with you, Owen.
Oh, okay.
So
He's already got it pulled up.
he's got it pulled up and everything.
So my draft, my first pick, I think we probably all picked the same one.
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward, number one.
Cam Ward going to the
straight
Titans.
to the
That's-
Titans.
That makes sense. They need a quarterback. He's probably the best one on
I
the
am
board
gonna
this year.
say I will
Yeah.
miss Will Levis doing something stupid
Every week,
every single week, man. There's like always a new Will Levis meme.
dropping to his knees.
Oh my
Yes,
goodness,
man.
and the coach just cussing him out.
Yeah.
My goodness, I'm gonna miss him. But the Titans is a no-brainer. Cam Ward, number one, best quarterback in this draft at the moment. Obviously, that can change because I do think there is some gems in here that aren't going to be highly looked at. But I think so far, he's the surefire day one starter. You don't need, I will say, you don't need to put him into a certain system for him to work. He can work with what the Titans have at the moment. Obviously,
Yeah.
there will be growing pains. I don't expect the Titans to jump from,
Worst to best.
worst to
all the
best
time.
right now.
The Commanders did
You
it.
know.
They did do it,
They
but I
did.
think right now for the Titans, usually with the number one pick especially, that's the struggle moment.
Yeah.
Maybe the second quarterback, he'll find success, but this one, it's going to take some time. But Cam Ward, I agree.
I think
yeah.
he could be good.
I think Cam Ward is a very plug-and-play player. You don't need a whole lot of remolding around your offense to make good things happen with him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which is probably why they're picking him, because they don't see him as having to sit for a year.
Yeah.
Maybe they see him as being able to start right away.
James Daniels.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Number 2 to the Browns, I had Travis Hunter going.
I think me and Owen have basically identical mocks because
Yeah.
I also have Travis Hunter going to the Browns. A lot due to because of his, he basically plugs into. They need a cornerback. They also need a wide receiver. So
He can do
whatever
both.
both is going to be a challenge. I think the Browns are going to be more willing to do that, but there are going to be times where he's going to have to play that certain position, and a lot of people have argued what he's better at.
Yeah.
I think he might be better as a receiver. I've heard a lot of people argue he's a corner.
I think he might be better as a corner.
So, but
I think he's mediocre at both.
whoa.
Okay, hot take, Jacob.
I've been
Where would you pick him if you were NFL general manager?
And where would I put him?
Yeah.
I'd put him as a third-string wide receiver.
So you wouldn't even take
You
him
would-
in the first round?
oh my goodness.
Travis Hunter is
I'd take him
off Jacob's
late
draft
first
board.
round.
He's
I
off
mean,
his board.
I'm not gonna say I didn't put him at number 3, but that's because the Giants
Teams
are
would
not
take
a
him.
very good
Yeah.
managed franchise. So I think
If
that
they
they
were,
would be
Well,
stupid
they are
enough to
playing.
take
franchise,
him.
they'd take my next pick, Abdul Carter,
I
who
agree,
I
too.
prospect to be the best player in this draft.
Best player.
He's injured.
Ooh.
He's injured, but he's healed basically.
Is he?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I think
I thought he
he's-
ruptured his Achilles.
No, he didn't rupture his
We're
Achilles.
gonna
They had,
fact check
like-
that.
He just, but I believe he just had an injury. Let's see here. Abdul Carter, injury. This is the first live fact check on the network.
Shoulder injury. Oh.
Yeah, that is not an Achilles.
That's
He's
not
in
Achilles.
Stress
Tweaking-
reaction. in his
WeTS
right
fans, I
foot.
apologize. I am tweaking out my mind
He's-
right now.
On Thursday, he went under a medical recheck that showed it's healing. So he looks like he's going to do just fine.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
good.
Healing, not healed.
Healing, yeah.
You wanna-
Few other picks. Will Campbell at 4 to the Patriots.
I
They
agree
have a
with that one, too.
quarterback. They needed an offensive tackle. He's my number 1 tackle in the class. So I just figured that made some sense. Mason Graham, big defensive force, big stud.
I also
tackle.
agree with that.
He's
the
going to
Jag-
go to the Jags at 5, I think, because they desperately just need any form of pressure up front. Ashton Gianti.
To the
This is the big one. I don't know where I don't know where Jacob had him going, but I have him going.
Should I pull up my draft?
I
have
think we
him
know where
going-
you had him going to. I
You have him
believe
on-
the Patriots.
Yeah.
If you want to go on your little thing right there. Yes, there he is. The Pats taking Ashton Jeanty over Will Campbell.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
No, I
Maybe
told
if
him.
they really like a running
I
back.
don't believe that Drake May was that good of an offensive weapon that the Patriots
He
hoped that
barely
they were.
played.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
played
but
with.
they gotta give him some support.
I mean,
He's a young
there's a reason
quarterback.
why they're the number 4 pick because they sucked in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is they were terrible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think Ashton Jeanty is the key to the Patriots franchise.
Okay,
Okay.
I think
wow.
He's
Ashton
gonna save
Jeanty
the offense.
is the next Tom Brady.
Ashton
He's gonna throw the
Jeanty.
ball.
No, he's gonna run the ball.
Uh-huh.
He's the next.
He's gonna be.
He's
like,
the next Saquon
He's
Barkley.
gonna be like
Okay.
50, still
Okay.
running the ball.
Yeah.
Like I won't spend time with my family.
Okay,
I gotta
well,
run
yeah,
this
that's
route.
obviously Jacob's board, but yeah, I mean, Jackson Dart to the Jets.
That's an interesting reach.
I would say if they took him like later in the round, it
if they
would be.
traded down and took him. Maybe.
Yeah, I think there would be a lot of quarterbacks or a lot of teams interested in Jackson Dart. I just don't know if the Jets are one of them.
I'm not one of them. I'm not really sold by
Mm,
Jackson.
I
Dart
am
as
a
a
little bit
player.
better. I think he would fit better if he was with a system that's more keen on putting him behind
I
somebody.
think he's the second best quarterback in the draft.
Wow.
I would say you
Okay.
could be
Okay.
correct on that part. I think obviously the second quarterback in this draft we've already mentioned, which I'm going to go ahead and talk about before we get on to me and Owen's
Yeah.
Panther pick, because I think we both have a similar pick.
Probably.
Obviously Jacob has something different, but Shadur Sanders, I have him falling to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh
Wow.
All the
I
way
think
down there?
because I've heard a lot
Wow.
of scouts talk about how he's a guy that if he goes to a situation like the Saints or Browns, he's going to really struggle because that is not a good offense.
Yeah.
And the Saints right now are in a phase like they got Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
They're more on if we suck this year, that's fine. We might go and get Arch Manning or whoever the quarterback is for next year.
We just have some differing thoughts because I have the Saints taking Sanders at 9, and then I have the Steelers taking Jackson Dart at 21 on my mock.
I have Jackson Dart not in the first round. I think he'll be falling.
Mine just kind of relays on the fact that the Steelers don't have anyone.
No,
at
that's
quarterback right
exactly
now.
what
It's
I s-
just Mason Rudolph.
That's exactly why
if
I
Aaron
said.
signs before the draft, maybe, but he just looks like he's giving them.
That's
the
why I said
runaround.
the
He really
best
does.
the best fit for Shador is the Steelers in terms of like
Who needs a quarterback?
who needs like a quarterback, but also doesn't need a quarterback that's gonna like in a way be a generational talent in that regards.
Yeah.
Like he's
They needed a temporary fix.
like a game manager. Like
Yeah.
The
people-
issue is, we said the same thing about Kenny Pickett, and look how well that turned out.
Well,
He played in the Super Bowl. I
Well,
don't want to
yeah,
hear no
you
slander
not-
about no
He's
Kenny
not on your
Pickett.
team anymore.
You don't talk
He's
about
not on the Eagles.
you don't talk about my
Oh,
boy
he's
Kenny
not?
Pickett,
No. He got traded to Cleveland. I'm pretty
forgot.
sure.
and he's gonna start.
Well,
He's better than Deshaun Watson.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, has Deshaun Watson played in the Super Bowl?
No, he
Nope,
hasn't.
I
Has he
don't think
taken a kneel down in the Super Bowl? I
Nope.
don't think so.
Nope.
But going forward with some of our other picks, obviously let's talk about
What did you have Jackson Dart? Who do you have going to the Jets?
I'm going to the
I
Jets.
have what do you have?
He had
I
Dart.
have Dart.
Yeah, but what did Don have?
I picked Armand Mimbu.
He's the
my number 2 tackle in the class.
Tackle from
He is the tackle from Missouri.
That's exactly
He's
it.
pretty big. He's a strong guy. I've read some about the Panthers scouting him a little, which would be interesting. But I don't think we really need a tackle.
No, not in this draft.
Jets have had a bad O-line
Oh, they
for
need that.
years, like since Darnold was drafted. And
The Jets need to fix their quarterback problem.
But they have
they are going to be kind of bad this year regardless. though.
Regardless,
Wouldn't
with
you
Aaron
rather have
Glenn.
Arch Manning next year than Jackson Dart?
and
I'd
even
rather the
they,
Giants get Arch Manning so it could complete my fantasy cycle.
What is your fantasy?
What's your
cycle?
fantasy?
The Manning cycle. Of
yeah, but
course.
wouldn't it also fit if he was like going to the Colts
Yeah, what's wrong with it? You won't draft a Jet?
or even
Well,
the
I think the
Broncos?
Colts are going to be too good to tank for a
You
QB.
thi-
I-
Nah, they
I-
could
I
screw up.
agree. I agree.
I don't think so. I have a lot of faith
I-
in the Colts, having marched in their stadium and all.
Yeah.
But I think that this year they were a very middle of the road, and I think the moves that they're doing in off season will boost them up. And obviously they have a number 14, which it's not
yeah.
great, but I think that they could kind of pull that around, and I think they could be a
I had
generational
them
playoff team.
taking Tyler Warren.
God,
at
we are on the
14.
same
Yeah,
page.
He's my tight end 1 of the draft. I mean, they've needed a tight end for years, so I think that'd be a good.
That is
fix
my
if
that
it's
is like the
an
most
offensive hole.
Colts pick I think you
Yeah.
can come up with
'Cause
like
they
in terms
really
of
need a
just
tight end.
a tight end. Like Jim Irsay is probably just revving himself up knowing
Yeah.
he can get a tight end from of all places, Penn State.
Yeah, he would love that.
So yeah, I think that's kind of there. Obviously, a lot of different picks. I have the Cowboys
Ooh, yeah.
taking Matthew Golden.
Ooh, okay. Well, I have similar.
That
path.
would
I
be a
had-
good move
that'd be a
from a
good move.
Cowboys GM,
Yeah.
and we all know that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I had them taking Tatira McMillan, number 1 wide receiver in my class. I have him falling a little bit, which I don't know if it's
I
going to
have the
happen. It
Cowboys
feels like
taking
one of the
Mason Graham.
teams could take him. You have Mason
Mason
Graham going
Graham.
to 12?
Yeah.
Mason Graham's gonna.
Wait, you have Cam Skateable.
Like
at
I said,
10.
he was memeing. He's memeing.
I'm not memeing. I'm being genuine.
I also had the Bears.
I looked
taking-
at what the teams needed the most
You have-
throughout
These are
this
the players
season,
you
Who
like.
did
and these are the players that I like that I
So
think
we'll
will be the
see
best
how
fit for their
Jacob's draft
teams.
evaluation.
Who'd you have the
turns out.
Bears
I have
taking?
them taking Omarion Hampton at 10. He
I
has
have
them
them-
taking Cam Skateable at 10.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I have
Because
them-
I think he's an underrated running back, but I
Sure,
also think
sure.
he's good enough to kind of sneak in there.
I just don't think he's going
Oh,
to
you
sneak
have him
into
taking
the top
Omari-
10.
man, that
if
early?
he sneaks into the round 1, he'll be in the later end of the round.
Nah, I
You
trust-
have
trust.
Amari Hampton going that early?
Me?
Yeah.
At the,
No. Well, this is more of a if the Bears decide to take a running back. I don't know if they'll do it at 10.
I have them taking.
I feel like they
a
might
tackle.
trade down and take a running back that way, but PFF doesn't really allow free trades, so I
Oh
couldn't
no,
really
yeah,
do that.
PFF.
So Hampton went 10 in this draft. I think he might go to the Bears. I don't know if it'll be that exact pick though.
All right,
But that's what I had. And for number 8, our favorite
Our
team, we're
beloved
wearing merch
Carolina
right now to
Carolina
rep it off.
Panthers, absolutely.
I have
Keep
them
pounding.
taking Jalen Walker,
I have them also
linebacker
Jalen.
from Georgia,
Yeah.
Bulldog. We desperately need someone at outside linebacker. He's a hard-hitting player. He's got some room to grow. I think he'd be a good young player for the
Underrated by
Panthers.
PFF. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't know why they have him so low.
He's gonna
Like,
go
he's
top
the
10.
he's the best linebacker in this draft.
Yeah.
So
So for the Panthers, I had Mike Green.
I've
Mike
heard
Green,
a
yeah.
lot
edge
of
rusher
rumors too
from
about
Marshall.
We need an edge rusher.
Because let's be honest, your defense needs some beef.
That's
they
what
do.
we're
And
saying.
because every team kind of just had their way with the Panthers, all the
That's
games
true.
were high
They did.
scoring.
They were Burger
It
King.
was not pretty, and I think an edge rusher to kind of put any quarterback
Replace
on
Brian
skates,
Burns.
yeah, would be a move that would be beneficial. And obviously, Ryan Green, he's got the seniority and the experience that I think that Mike Green could learn from.
I'd be all right with Mike.
I'd be
Mike
all right
Green.
with Mike Green too. I can't go wrong about getting some.
And you
There are a
said I
lot-
was memeing.
There are a
That's
few
not a
players
meme
I would
pick,
take.
but I mean,
I'm
Jalen
kind of-
Milrow going to the Falcons.
I
that is a
think.
weird
All right,
pick.
all right.
Well,
Hear
you're
my
gonna have to
logic.
Tell me your theorization.
Here, where's
here.
the Falcons at?
Right there, 15.
There we go. So
You have them taking
hear me
him
out.
at 15.
I don't think Jalen Milrow is that great of a
I
quarterback
don't
that he
think
will
any-
be top.
He's a
Anything.
project.
Uh-huh.
But I think the Falcons are so desperate for a quarterback room,
They took a quarterback.
They have
last
Michael
year.
and
Penix.
he was
He
terrible.
was
Michael
not-
Penix was not that.
He was
good.
horrible.
Dude, you need to watch
Michael
the
Penix,
that
I-
good.
bro,
Watch
this.
Washington's defense picked him off for fun.
because he was like in his second.
He threw
He
3
was-
touchdowns and 3 interceptions
Yeah,
and 775
yeah.
yards.
He rode backseat to Kirk Cousins, and Kirk was a good quarterback. when he
Kirko was
wants
not
to be.
Kirk was
good.
When
pretty
he
wild.
wants to be. He
Oh
didn't
my-
want to be for the
Didn't
past
like
couple
it in
seasons.
Atlanta.
This,
At the end of the day, I think that if Jalen Milrow falls enough that the Falcons can pick him
They're
up,
not taking
they're gonna
Jalen.
sit him behind Penix, and they're gonna let him grow. And then when Penix inevitably starts sucking again midway through the season, they're gonna throw Milrow out
I
there,
really don't think
and
this
Oh
is
my
gonna
Milrow
happen.
is
goodness.
gonna
This
throw
is-
for 1,000,000
But-
yards
okay.
and
dude, if
50
this happens
touchdowns.
So
on
you're
draft
high on
night,
Milrow?
you gotta be with us when when the Falcons are selecting, because there is
They
no
will not be taking
way
that.
that they are taking Jalen Milrow. Jalen Milrow might not even go until like the 3rd round.
Oh, you
Yeah,
little faith.
well,
You probably clowned on Washington when they picked Jaden Daniels.
I did not clown them. I said I was like,
clowned
they got a quarterback. Let's just hope
Hmm.
they can build around him.
And we did.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I didn't clown on. I'm just saying there's.
And the Falcons will take a quarterback,
But
and they will build around
the difference
him.
is the Commanders already didn't. They didn't have
Have a
anyone.
quarterback. Did
They
you think
took-
that Sam Howell was
they
the?
took
You
this
thought
kid
Sam
to
Howell
be
was
their
the
young
answer.
No, I
quarterback.
hated Sam Howell from the get-go.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I thought he looked weird.
Well,
Uh,
hey, we both had number 17 as the same pick.
Yeah.
We
Was
both
it?
had Jahad
Jahad
Campbell.
Campbell.
Oh, I thought I was.
linebacker, going
So
to the
I
Bengals.
have Mike Green going to Cincy at that point.
I think since he probably goes defense, they just need some assistance for Burrow.
They need everything for Burrow, but they need a
everything
defense
for
the best.
Burrow.
Yeah.
I like Hampton to to the Denver Broncos. That's a decent pick. Oh, and you have Quinn Ewers going to the Steelers. Your quarterback takes are certainly unique.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
But they're good takes.
We're gonna
Well,
definitely have to put a statistic
We'll
on
see
who
if
got.
you get any
And
of
how
them
many
right.
I get
then we can
right?
call 'em
I'll
good
get
picks.
Cam Ward right.
You'll get Cam
Obviously,
Ward
some of
right.
these will be pushed back because trades will happen,
You have
and
Jalen Walker going all the way to 30 to the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
that would be if
Be
he
quite a
falls
fall.
that far.
I
Like,
didn't do my research on him, so.
well, obviously PFF. Like, I don't blame him because PFF ranked him completely
Yeah.
low. And so who do you guys think for Broncos and Chargers? Because I have the Chargers going with who's the tight end from Michigan?
Oh, I also had them going with the tight end from Michigan.
I think-
Colston Loveland.
I
Oh, and
think
need
they'll
you
either
to
go-
Say that name for me.
Colston Loveland.
No, this one right here.
Oh, Akime Kabuke.
Yeah.
I have him going
Emeka
right after him too.
Egbuka.
I have him going to the Packers right after the Chargers.
I also have them going to the Packers right after.
Me
the
and Owen are
Chargers.
on the same
Wow.
page right now.
Yeah, we really got the similar draft. And as we get into the later stages of the draft, I start having a lot of tackles come off the board.
Oh, that's when they're.
The Texans. I had them taking Kelvin Banks Jr. because he's a tackle from Texas. They need a tackle. Made sense to me. I actually had the Bills taking Matthew Golden at number 30. I thought that would be a pretty.
I
fun
have
player
them
for them.
taking
Fill in their
Benjamin
wide receiver.
Benjamin Morris, corner from Notre Dame, because they really need some
I
help.
thought about Benjamin, but he just didn't make the first round for me. I think he
He could
go that
slid out, but
IRL.
he could be a gem. I have I know obviously shout to Matt Benford, but he was
Yeah.
talking about was it Malik A. Starks from Georgia?
Oh yeah, well I have him at number 19 going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I have him at number 27 going to the
Jacob
Ravens.
put a lot of guards in his draft too. which I
Because
have
the
most
guard
of them
situation from this
It
year
is,
not
but
good.
there's a lot of other needs. Like guards you can also get in later rounds.
And I like your pick of Tyler Warren to the Rams. I think that's something that
That's-
could happen in a
Yeah.
trade up scenario.
I
don't
could see
think
the
he falls
Rams
that
trading
far.
up with maybe the
but,
Bears
yeah,
to go
to
get.
I just
someone
know
like
that
that.
the Rams needed a tight end desperately because
Yeah.
who did they have?
They got someone who's pretty old.
That's
I
a
think.
that's a team that also I thought would take Milrow maybe later because Sean McVay
Matthew Stafford's getting old.
Getting
Matthew
old.
Stafford is
and
getting
that
old.
too with Jackson Dart, like that could be a destination for those two quarterbacks.
That's true.
I don't think they'll get desperate enough.
I don't think
for
they'll take one in the
Shador.
first round. Though.
I don't think they'll be desperate enough to take Shador.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, not terrible. Obviously, I think the Matthew Golden, if he does fall that far, the Lions could trade up and get him because they do need another
Yeah.
wide receiver. Though it feels weird
I
because
thought about it.
I don't know.
He kind of fits Jamison Williams' skill set already.
Yeah, and that's the
going
thing.
Pretty fast.
I took I went for them to get more depth because I thought that's the one thing that was killing them
Yeah.
last year was just the lack of depth and injuries. But I guess to kind of almost finish out our mock draft, let's talk to your Commanders,
Yeah, who you
Jacob.
have?
James Pierce Jr.
Hey.
Oh,
Oh well, I thought we were right, but it turns out I had him going one spot ahead of him.
Yeah.
I have
Wow.
him going
I
the
think
very
that-
last pick.
Oh.
I think that obviously we don't have the best draft position. Quite frankly, I'm honestly surprised we didn't trade our first round draft.
You guys
pick.
might move up. depending.
Could still
Uh,
happen.
It could happen. I would like to see that happen.
But also, you
Um,
traded a lot of your picks for that tackle.
I would love to get Abdul Carter, even though he's injured.
So does Jerry
How the hell are
Jones.
you gonna get to number 3?
We're not. We're not. Unless we trade like Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, no
but
ain't gonna happen. Yeah.
please no.
No.
I think James Pierce, for the value of the player, if he falls that far, I think would be the best pick for us to take. We need somebody on edge rusher. Obviously, Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu are great linebackers, and they got like a ridiculous amount of sacks,
But they're also aging
but
too.
they're also aging.
Yeah.
And I would love to see somebody like James Pierce Jr. kind of sit behind them for half a season or so, maybe get a couple of quarters of playing time in the early season, and just kind of learn from these older vets and grow from that.
I definitely agree with that. I have them taking, was it Donovan Uzukie? I think I don't know if that's how you spell his last name, but from Boston College. Who do you have going to the Colts? But I think he would be a good fit there, especially with edge. Under the radar type of guy. And then for James Pierce, I actually have him falling to the Eagles
Really?
at number 32. I
Fly, Eagles, fly.
I don't know how they're gonna do that. I know they need some edge help, obviously, with Milton Williams leaving them for greener pastures, I guess, with the Patriots.
Cash, yeah.
But Yeah, I agree with that. So,
Yeah.
but that is in fact gonna do it for our mock draft special. What a
I made Dom very, very angry.
Whenever he first showed me this, I was like, you're memeing, right? You're joking.
No, I'm not joking.
We had very similar picks.
But me and Owen
see how
obviously-
Jacob's picks go.
obviously
He could
me-
be right.
Yeah.
He could
Me and
be
Owen
right.
have done mock drafts before. We do look at these type of stuff. Are we the best people to do this?
Sure.
Sure.
We have. What does Mel Kiper have that we don't?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mel
exactly.
Kiper? What does he know?
Yeah.
Who's
we know
that?
better.
I don't know.
We'll have to compare our
But
draft
at this
results.
time, I would like to announce that I am taking a head coaching job with the New York Jets.
Oh,
Oh,
happy to
Um,
hear this.
yeah.
Are you going to
So-
be leaving the show?
I will be leaving the show
Oh,
to go
my
pursue
goodness.
a career in head coaching football because, quite frankly, I would do a better job than
Aaron Glenn?
whoever else they got running. the
Aaron
show.
Glenn hasn't even started yet.
Yeah, he's already.
He's
been
already
fired.
disappointed me.
Okay.
But when my contract is up with them, I am happy to announce that I will be taking over as the general manager for the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow. Okay. Well, we've got
Not the
Jacob's
Mavericks?
multi-stage career here, and that probably puts a wrap on our episode.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. And as always,
Go
Cats.
Cats. Honestly, I think I could do a better job than Jerry Jones.